Hey, thanks so much for tuning into the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. Today is Thoughtful Thursday. We're going through the 10 Commandments, and we've been challenged and encouraged, inspired through these commandments. And just like what Jesus was saying, it's more of a heart issue. So, the first few commandments is talking about how we can honor God, how can we love God. And then the second half of the commandments more talk about how can we love and serve others, and talking about not stealing, do not commit adultery, do not murder. And today is that fact of do not steal. And we can have a false sense of growth here, a false sense of that we are actually upholding to that commandment to not do that, because it's like, well, hey, I haven't robbed a bank or anything like that, and so we justify other little actions because we look at it in comparison to what other people do, and the fact is, it's really the heart of the matter here, because we can think about stealing as leaving work a little early and still marking that you were there the whole time, or getting to work late and still marking that you got there when you should have got there. I mean, that's an act of stealing right there. And how we treat our employees and our bosses and things like that. Another aspect we have to think about too is stealing from God, because ultimately everything belongs to Him. Our time, our possession, our resources, our gifts, our talents, and if we withhold from God, we are actually stealing from Him. Listen to what the prophet Malachi says in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10 says this: "Will a man rob God? Yet you rob me." But asked, how do we rob God? Well, in our tithes and our offerings. You are under a curse, the whole nation of you, because you are robbing me. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, that there may be food in my house, and then test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if that I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room enough for it. Now, that's obviously referring to our finances, but we can have that aspect into all these things. And the reason why God talks about finances so much is because it's a heart issue, and He knows that that can be a struggle, or it can be a blessing. See, the love of money is not the root of all evil. It's really what we do with it. It's the root of all kinds of evil. See, money is amoral. It's actually, there's no good or bad. It's but what we do with it. And so think about that. Think about what you do with your time, what you do with your resources, what you do with your giftings. Are you robbing God from that? Because if we are, we're actually committing that sin of do not steal. So I want you to think about that for Thoughtful Thursday. Think about all the things that God has blessed you with, and then think about how can you be a blessing to others? How can you honor God with what He has entrusted you with? Because ultimately, it all belongs to Him anyways. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.